Hello and welcome. You're watching the big story on Mirror now. I'm Amita Balachandra. Let's take a look at the top headlines.
किसी भी बात की ना मुलजिम पकड़े गए और हमारे साथ में जो हुआ है उसको सारी बातों को गलत कर दिया, झूठ कर दिया, तो बताइए हम क्या करें फिर।
Despite the Chief Minister's assurances, no arrests made in the Jewar gang rape case. 11 days on, helpless victims attempt to end their lives.
And don't you think the justice has been clearly evading the entire family, because it's been 11 days and not even a single arrest has been made in this case?
This matter pertains to police department, so they are doing their best as far as my knowledge is concerned, and we will come to the conclusion as early as possible.
Their inaction has been established beyond doubt, yet the sub-divisional magistrate refuses to comment on the police investigation in the Jewar gang rape case. And helping your child eat healthy and stay healthy to become more expensive, with glucose biscuits to be taxed at 18%, milk powders like Complan and Horlicks to be taxed at the highest rate, 28%. Ongoing agitation by farmers in Maharashtra creates a state of chaos. Prices of fruits and vegetables in the wholesale markets normalize, but prices in retail markets still remain high.
मिरर नाउ का थैंक्स करता हूँ कि आपके आने के बाद हमारे पानी के सैंपल भी कलेक्ट हो गए। उन्होंने हमें प्रॉमिस कर दिया कि हम नई लाइन पानी की भी और सीवर की भी डाल रहे हैं।
The Mirror Now impact. Delhi Jal Board officials forced to act to reinstate proper water supply in Model Town area of Delhi. Residents were suffering due to water shortage and contaminated water for the last 3 months. And India's most powerful rocket takes off. Indian Space Research Organization launches the GSLV Mach 3 D1 communications satellite. Straight up to a big story. It's been 11 days since armed goons attacked a family of 8 on the Jewar highway, gang raped the women, robbed the family and shot a person dead. Yet, no arrests have been made so far. When Mirror Now confronted the sub-divisional magistrate, she refused to comment on the police inaction, but met the victims and offered the customary assurance. The family has also met Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, yet the police has made absolutely no headway in this case. The helpless victims today attempted self-immolation. 4 of the family members tried to set themselves on fire.
It has been 11 days and the Jewar victims continue their fight for justice, and so far not even one arrest has been made in this case. The police say that the investigation is underway and they are very close to nabbing the culprits, but so far nothing really has been done in this case. The women of the family tried to commit suicide yesterday because they feel that the police inaction is forcing them to take such an extreme step, and they say that if this continues and no arrest is made in this case, then they will self-immolate themselves outside the police station in Jewar. This is Apurva Sridhar for Mirror Now in Jewar.
Now, Mirror Now spoke to the Jewar gang rape victims who said that they have been doubted and questioned at different stages by the police, and the only solution for them now is to commit suicide.
किसी भी बात की ना मुलजिम पकड़े गए और हमारे साथ में जो हुआ है उसको सारी बातों को गलत कर दिया, झूठ कर दिया, तो बताइए हम क्या करें फिर। हैं, किसी भी बात की सरकार हमारी मदद नहीं कर रही, कैसी भी, तो बताइए हम क्या करें। इतने दिन हो गए तो फिर तो इंसान सोचेगा कि इससे तो मरना ही अच्छा है, ऐसी उससे तो।
ना ही तो मुलजिम हाथ में आए और ना ही हमें कोई हक मिला है। बस हमने सोचा, और हमारे छोटे छोटे भाई बच्चे खाने को मांगे, क्या करेंगे, कहाँ से खिलाएंगे, कहाँ से पिलाएंगे। हमने सोचा अपनी जान ही खो दें।
Now here's what's more shocking. After the victims tried to immolate themselves, sub-divisional magistrate of Jewar met the family. However, when we asked her pressing questions about police inaction in this case, she had no answers.
Actually, their main concern is the financial issue and the future of their small children. So we have talked to them, and we will ensure to have to provide them a skill-based earning process. Like we will engage the girls into the sewing machine or something beautician course, so that their livelihood, their earning sources is secured.
Ma'am, the family has been time and again since day one, since the day this incident happened, have been demanding nothing but justice. And don't you think the justice has been clearly evading the entire family, because it's been 11 days and not even a single arrest has been made in this case?
This matter pertains to police department, so they are doing their best as far as my knowledge is concerned, and we will come to the conclusion as early as possible.
Ma'am, one final question. The police have not even asked the family members to identify a lot of suspects that they have detained, and we spoke to a couple of family members here who also said that they've not even been called to at least identify the suspects. What does it tell you about the attitude of the police?
I'm working with the police department, and I know they are doing 24-hour service for this matter only, and they are totally they are giving their 100% for this matter. Actually, that is their concern also, because every day everybody is asking about this matter only. So it's an issue for them, and I'm sure they will come to the conclusion very early.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am, for speaking to us. In Jewar, this is Apurva Sridhar for Mirror Now.
11 days so far, no arrests in the Jewar gang rape case, and this is what the sub-divisional magistrate has to say. She has no comment on the ongoing police investigation. When our reporter went and asked her about the police inaction in this case, it's been 11 days, remember, no arrests have been made. The sub-divisional magistrate went on to say that she has no comment. In fact, Apurva, who asked that question, joins us on the phone line now. Apurva, it's been 11 days. You've been tracking this case. It's been 11 days and no arrests have been made so far.
That's right, Amita. It's absolutely shocking how even after 11 days, no arrest has been made so far in this case. Remember, this incident happened on 25th of May, and the first FIR was also launched, and there have been series of investigation that was carried out as far as this case is concerned. But if you look at the entire chronology of this, it is to be seen why has no arrest been made in this case so far. Also, we spoke to the family members as well as the victim in this case, and they've just one thing to say: why is there no justice? Why is it that even after 11 days the police have not contacted them to come and identify any of the suspects in this case? So these are some pressing questions that the family, the Jewar victim family, has been asking time and again, and they say that clearly if justice keeps evading us this way, we have no option left but to take an extreme step of committing suicide, because this life is absolutely meaningless. We've been through a lot of misery. We've been, our entire social problems have been highlighted everywhere. There is no response from the authorities. The CM has only assurances to give. So these are some questions that they've been asking, and they're just tired. They say that we don't want to live a life of this sort where even the minute justice, we need to keep telling them about the kind of ordeal that we've been through, and so far no action has been taken even to identify the 6 suspects in this case. Back to you, Amita.
Apurva, at this point in time, the last time we had this discussion, there was news, of course, that an FSL report was awaited. This CM has also met the victims. In fact, the victims had threatened to commit suicide earlier, and now they have, in fact, tried to self-immolate themselves. But at this point in time, when the CM has only assured speedy justice in this case, what details are you picking up from the police?
Well, Amita, the police is quite tight-lipped about this entire investigation, and they have absolutely just one thing to say, that they have detained a lot of people for questioning, and that is the basic premise that they have put through this entire case. But our main question is, what is happening ahead of that? You've been telling us the same thing since day one. Why has no action been taken? Why have the family not been called to even identify the suspects? If you have identified, or if you have detained a couple of suspects, as you say, why have the family members who could have identified a couple of perpetrators of this crime has been called to identify them, and that is precisely one of the questions that the family is going to put forth the police, who they will be meeting at around 7:30 or 8 o'clock today, and they are going to ask this tough question as to why they have not been called to even identify a single suspect that the police have detained in this case. They had been called once after this incident came to light, but after that they have not been called again to identify any kind of suspects that the police claim to have detained. So those are some questions that the family members are going to put across to the police, and hopefully they get some kind of assurance or answer from them. But Amita, quite frankly, how much of assurances are we looking at? Because clearly they've got an assurance from the Chief Minister. They've got assurance after assurance from the police who keep coming here. They have got assurance from the local authorities. But has the assurance really paid off? To them, no. Because they still claim that justice is not even close. It's not even anywhere close to where they're seeing the 6 people have not been identified. The 6 people have not even been nabbed. So what kind of assurance are we really looking at in this case?
Also, Apurva, very quickly tell us before we let you go, at this point in time, what do the victims expect from the police? They, of course, are going to meet the police sometime later today. What are they expecting? Because initially, in the medical report that came out, it denied any form of sexual assault. And, there were suspicions over rape.
Amita, as you clearly pointed out, that the first medical report, which was made public right after this incident came to light, we're still awaiting the second FSL report. In fact, the FSL report would be a conclusive document which would say whether or not there is a rape proof in this case. But that FSL report will come only after a week, as CMO that they rightly pointed out, that it will take 3 weeks for the FSO, which the samples have already been sent to Lucknow. Now, as far as the question is concerned, the rape victims have just demanded one thing, which is justice, which is to get all the perpetrators of this crime, to nab them and hang them is what they want. They want all the 6 of them who robbed them of their dignity, who robbed them of their valuables,
right,
who shot dead one of their family members, and who allegedly gang raped 4 women. They just want justice. They want all 4 of them to be caught.
Right.
They want all 4 of them to be hanged.
Right, Apurva. So essentially an FSL report is awaited. It will come out next week, and the victims who tried to commit suicide here in this case will be meeting the police and seeking some answers there. Thank you so much, Apurva, for getting us those details. In fact, we also have Yogita Bayana on the phone line. Joining us on the phone line now, Yogita Bayana, tell us this. We've been talking about this case time and again. It's been 11 days now. And this is the question we're asking. What is the police doing in this case? Because there have been no arrests made so far.
This is very unfortunate. Imagine this is the agony, this is the fate of this case, which you are constantly chasing, which is to very big limelight. Even Chief Minister is intervening. Everybody is talking about this case in India. Still, the fate of this case is that 11 days, not even single progress. I mean, if now you can compare it with the normal case, which doesn't get that kind of a media attention. So there where we are lacking, UP police needs to pull up their socks. They really need to work hard. They have to go through some kind of a immediate and emergency reform. I would say, they need to start getting reforms from today itself, from right now itself, because they are lacking in their attitude, they are lacking in empathy, sympathy, they are lacking in their efficiency. They have nothing to offer, basically. And listening to all the cases yesterday, also the girl was molested by the cops itself. It shows, they are very reluctant to work, basically, reluctant to report. They have to put in a lot of efforts to get the exact. They know the gangs operating there. Everybody knows which gang exactly did this particular, executed this particular incident. So, how far they have to wait for it to, nab all the accused or take particular action and get some work on paper, with the immediate effect. It's so sorry state, right now we are in. And I'm really...
They're saying that the UP police need to pull up their socks and as soon as possible. Yogita, do stay with us. We also have Pramila Nesargi joining us on the phone line. Pramila Nesargi, my question to you is this now. Ever since the new Chief Minister has come in UP, In the month of May alone, the number of crime rates have actually increased. In the month of May alone, there have been 11 incidents.
I know. So the question is the rising of the crimes, it is not because it happened. See, the punishment that has been prescribed even after Verma's case is not sufficient. See, they just feel, either a life sentence or death sentence, it makes no difference. Unless some severe punishment is imposed, under law, unless the law is modified, amended, and the fear complex is developed in the minds of the public, this will continue forever. Look at the Muslim countries, how these things will never happen because they throw them in the public. They are open to public and they throwing the throne and they will be made to kill. Or chemical castration, these are the things which are prescribed somewhere. Unless these things are told, these things will not come down. Somehow or the other, the punishment is not creating any fear in the minds of any public in the country. So what I feel is that immediate attention is required. Parliament must think over it. The punishment is not sufficient, so they must think of some more severe punishment, one thing, and the law and order also must be improved in any way. See, every road must have the CCTV in which manner, how it has to be done, it also has to be done. Besides that, even the education system has to be improved and people must be told that this will be the consequences if you indulge in these things. These are things which will go a long way. But so long as these things are not done, on the other hand, the media, the film field and all the TVs, they are showing all these things. That makes the people to experiment. In the Auto Shankar's case, the same thing happened. He was just 18 years old boy. When he committed rape and murder, when the judges questioned him, why did you do that? He said that I wanted to experiment because I saw a movie like that. So these things also must be looked into and something must be done. Otherwise, people, they think that they want to experiment. After all, between 14 to 18 years age, youngsters, they don't know what, they just want to experiment.
But what should be done? Yogita, answer this question now. In time and again, in all of the cases that we've been tracking here, we've seen that police inaction is something that's been cropping up in every other case that we take up. So tell us this, in UP in particular, we've seen a major reshuffle. We've seen a major reshuffle in the police force. Obviously, that has not worked.
So I tell you, the police, I just can't blame entire thing on the police. You see, what the proportion of the police that we are requiring. The police recommendations have been made and the Supreme Court also has come heavily on all the governments and they said it must be proportionate to the population. The population is growing every day, but only the same old status which was there in 1947 is continuing. The strength of the police. This is not sufficient. Depending upon the increase of the population, the strength of the police also must be increased. Besides that, decent training must be given to them how to tackle these cases. Nothing has been done. That's the reason. The pay scale that's given to police also is not sufficient. They are not even looked after it carefully. Half of the police are on the...
All right. Do one second, Pramila Nesargi, 1 second. Yogita Bayana, do you believe that as well, what Pramila Nesargi is saying there is that it's not fair to blame the police and it's a problem of pay scale?
No, I agree with her that there is under-policing basically, but again, whatever little bit we have, we can immediately, tell them it is an attitude problem basically, first of all. So if whatever little we have, I know they are under-policing, but if they, with the number of police we have right now, if we do some aptitude and attitude kind of a training and gender sensitization training, at least with the immediate effect, we can start with that. And I think it's a high time CM must have a high level deliberation. Police reform, shuffling same bunch of jokers from one place to another place will not solve the problem. You need to inculcate the value system. You need to be hard on them that this is the performance level we are expecting in the state, because CM Yogi seems to be very dynamic, but when it comes to actually what we are seeing is not the result he would like to see. So he needs to have a deliberation with the immediate effect, as I said, and not shifting the same bunch of jokers from one place to another. Rather, do some kind of a value-added training. Meanwhile, they hire new cops. This is the problem world like India is having under cops. But definitely, to begin with, we can train these people and give them the right direction, make them well equipped, give them the right technology, because doing the exchange program with New York police, I have heard like Indian police is going to New York to learn the new technology. I think they just do exchange programs to have fun, look at the new city, look at the new country, and they do nothing actually about it.
Right.
Rather, we need to have systems like New York police, rather than just comparing with them and just having exchange of countries. So this is actually this is the problem basically.
Right. Pramila Nesargi, answer this question. What do you think needs to be done at this point in time? Because police reforms will obviously take some time. But in this case, if you take a look at it, the victims threatened to commit suicide, went and met the CM. The CM assured speedy justice and nothing happened.
Something was found. It is the mindset of the man, either the food habit or some such thing. It is increasing day by day. We do not know what is in the mind of a man.
Right, we also have Brinda Adige joining us on the phone line. Brinda, tell us this now. This is one case that we've been tracking continuously, and it's been 11 days. No arrests have been made so far. One thing about this case is the fact that victims here threatened to commit suicide, and despite that, nothing happened, and now they've actually tried to self-immolate themselves.
Well, this is the state committing atrocity on women. There is no other word. This is atrocity by the state, no matter what the state might want to say. Not only are the police unprofessional, but they are also unscrupulous. Here we are seeing that after the women have made a statement, when the job of the police is to register a case, it is not their job. They are not jury. They are not the judge to decide whether it is a rape or not. Their job, they are trained supposedly only to register the case. So one can understand from the actions of the police that they are categorically, systematically and systemically trying to undermine violence, rape on women that is happening in their state, and this unprofessional behavior of the police is being now condoned by everybody with their silence, inaction and apathy. And the Chief Minister as well as the DGP of police need to be ashamed, need to become accountable as to why no action has been taken.
Also respond to the fact that when we spoke to the sub-divisional magistrate, she had absolutely nothing to say. She did not even comment on the ongoing investigation.
Well, we are seeing that the state is increasingly being unresponsive and not accountable. There is nobody who's going to question them. There's nobody who's going to challenge them. And they know that again and again, they will make false promises, come back to power. The system has functioned 69 years. Just like this, every 30th of the month, they will get their salary. There is no suspension. There is no promotion or demotion. There is nothing that they will suffer. And they continue. The magistrate is nothing less. They may think that they are above everybody else, but they have the powers to take action. They will not. What is the State Human Rights Commission and the State Commission for Women doing over there? They have powers to take suo motu action. Why have they not stepped in? Why have they not come forward? So we know that all of these are simply showpieces and probably sitting stooges of the political parties and the ministers over there. There's nothing more that you can say for these people. Absolutely shameful and atrocious.
You know, a couple of things that we're asking here on Mirror Now. Why was there police inaction in this case? Why is the police silent on the ongoing investigation? And why did the CM assure speedy justice and nothing really happened? Pramila Nesargi, respond to that. We have a couple of minutes left.
See, the question of action and inaction comes into play, and if they get an opportunity. Here is a case, the lady who she has attempted to commit suicide. Why she did attempt? Because she was ashamed of herself. Whatever it is, if the culprit was caught, it is not that she would not have committed. She is afraid of herself. You know, she is afraid of the society. She can't face the society. Respectable family, this offense has taken in the road, highway, and there are all people with that. That's the reason. We have to find some way. It's not that solution should not be found. You must all must put an effort to find out how the law must be amended, how these things to be prevented. That to happening in a highway. The question is, those things could be improved by making some more arrangements, by providing more CCTV, monitoring system, all those things. It can be done. It is not that. We have to find out a way. CC should not blame once for all and say that these things are happening and blame only Yogi Adityanath in UP. Why? As though these things are not happening. What is happening in Kerala? Therefore, yesterday, young girl, child 5 years old, was raped in Bangalore. It is in Karnataka where the Congress is ruling.
Right. So Pramila Nesargi is saying that these highways where crimes have taken place before, especially on the Jewar Bulandshahr highway, police should have had patrolling vans there. Why wasn't there patrolling vans? In fact, Brinda Adige is also telling us that the police must be made accountable. We have Aishwarya Bhati also joining us on the phone line. Aishwarya Bhati, we just have about 2 minutes left on the show, but I want your quick comments on the fact that it's been 11 days and no arrests have been made so far, and the police is completely shirking responsibility. They don't even want to comment on the ongoing investigation. They've completely remained silent.
Yeah, well, it really highlights that women's safety still continues to be a non-priority area for authorities, for administrations. We have long heard and experienced the completely ruthless manner in which the police authorities have functioned, especially on women's safety issues. It is expected from the authorities to change because the nation and the society is not accepting anymore. We will not allow anything less than zero tolerance on women's safety issues. And if after the reporting of the crime, it is going to take so long, despite so much of attention, sustained attention by media, by your channel especially on this issue. Now the victims are, one can imagine that they are going to the extent of self-immolation. All right, don't comment on the investigation if you don't want, but please arrest the accused persons here. And rape victims are like injured witnesses. You must take their account. Whatever investigation has to happen, if whatever is their account, if you find some loopholes in their account, etc., all that is later on. You have to arrest the accused persons and then get on with the investigation. This lethargy has to go on women's safety issues. It's not acceptable anymore.
Absolutely, it's absolutely not acceptable anymore. In this case, particularly the helpless victims today attempted self-immolation. 4 of the family members tried to set themselves on fire. And this is the question we're asking. It's been 11 days since armed goons attacked a family of 8 on the Jewar highway. But why is the police not taking any action? Why is the police not arresting anybody yet? This is something that we'll keep a close watch on here on Mirror Now and continue to track it and bring you all of the updates. With that, it's a wrap here on The Big Story. Stay with us.